Hello everyone, we are thrilled to welcome young people, teachers, parents and carers to What Next Sussex 2022. My name's Mark.
And I'm Miranda. Hi everybody, and we are both careers advisors based in Sussex, and we're your hosts for this event. And this is Mash, who you may recognise from the Get Career Confident videos, and he's also really excited to be here.
Indeed. So, the idea behind What Next Sussex is that young people, their teachers, parents and carers can have all the access to the information they need to make good decisions for the future. So we've got video content like the one you're watching right now, and you can watch that at any time. We've got a directory of post-16 opportunities throughout Sussex that you can access. And also, if you're watching this on October the 6th, 2022, then you can chat live to employers, colleges and apprenticeship providers right live right now.
Exactly. This video is a pretty important part of What Next Sussex. It's going to cover all of the information you need in order to make good choices for your future in terms of what you can do after your GCSEs. And the idea being that by the end of it, you'll hopefully be really well informed and feeling excited and confident about your future as well. This particular video is more aimed at young people, and there'll be one in the evening which is aimed at parents and carers, so it's slightly different content.
Okay, so how much have you thought about what career would suit you? How much have you thought about what's actually possible? Well, first we're going to start with a look at what a career is and how to build a successful one. And then after that, we'll look at pathways that you can choose, then the world of work, and finally, what you need to do to kickstart your career. So let's watch the first video, which talks about making space to think about your future. And hopefully by watching this, we're helping you do just that.
Not until we are lost do we begin to understand ourselves. That was Henry David Thoreau's advice to us, and perhaps the reason why he was studied for his incredible approach to life. So if you're unsure about what's next for you, maybe you're now in the right place, because you had to understand the depth of the question before you could discover your answer. But it doesn't feel like you're given the space to figure that out, does it? The pressure in life builds quickly, this need to know what's next. It feels like there's this expectation to have your life figured out. Studies tell us the longer you stay stuck without knowing your next step, the harder it becomes to get on track. And when we're talking about 1 million people, those studies tell us something. But when we're talking about one life, your life, those studies may not tell us very much. The world is full of all types of success, begin in all types of moments. Einstein knew what he wanted, but for a long time he couldn't make it happen. I'm friends with people who didn't graduate from high school and have built an incredible life. I'm friends with people who took the promising path, university, good job, promotions, corporate ladder, and may look successful from the outside, but feel far from it on the inside. When it comes to your life, any road is possible. It doesn't matter where you're starting, the timing is for you to figure out. Harrison Ford was a carpenter until his 30s. Vera Wang didn't open her first boutique until she was about 40. Charles Darwin didn't publish his world-changing book until he was 50. The thing that unites them is they eventually found their path. The challenge for most of us is we allow ourselves to get stuck when trying to figure all this out. It happens because we pick up only one lens to look at the world. We get stuck in a selfish mindset. Yet selfishness is not what you think it is. Because selfishness is not just about having all things go your way. It's not only about putting yourself ahead of others. Most of us aren't looking for that. But selfishness has a way of finding us. Because the selfish approach to life can often feel anything but. It happens when we get stuck only asking questions of ourselves. What does happiness look like to me? What is success to me? What is the right path for me? These are all great questions. But they start to become limiting questions if they're the only ones you ask. What does the world need from me? How can I make somebody smile? What gifts of mine can be used to help somebody else? Questions pointing towards you and away from you. That's the way to get unstuck. Then you take action. You build what's next. You invent it. You draw it. You dance it. You cook it. You offer it. You write it. You practice it. You take the actions one step at a time to change your life. So if you're asking yourself what's next, take a deep breath. Everyone asks it at some point, and often more than once. To find your answer, don't just look inward. What is the world asking of you?
When you hear the term career, what do you think of? Many people envision a 9-to-5 job or someone pursuing a specialized field. These are both valid examples, but when it comes down to it, a career is a reflection of you and your work. People have viewed careers differently over the years. Decades ago, some considered a career to be working with one company until you retired. Later, others viewed it as working your way up through a specific industry. But nowadays, the workforce is changing at a faster pace. A career can include side hustles or working in the gig economy. Many people are also changing jobs more frequently. Because of the way our workforce is evolving, there's no right or wrong way to define what a career is. For example, let's take a look at Jennifer. She's always been a great creative problem solver. Her first job was helping her parents to run their family business. But for her next job, she found herself in event planning. And while working through both of these, she was also a freelance artist and was blogging on a regular basis. Even though these jobs seem fairly unrelated, together they form a career of her own. Simply put, a career is a culmination of the jobs you hold and how you weave them together to form a bigger picture.
Goodwill Community Foundation, creating opportunities for a better life.
So I think one of the key things from that video is that success means different things to different people. So it's really important that you work out what success means to you and what's really important to you. And that will really help you to make good decisions moving forward.
Absolutely. And also I think something I got from those videos is about a career consists of lots of different jobs. It doesn't just have to be one these days. And that's really exciting because then you can try lots of different things. But also it can be a bit confusing sometimes about thinking what you're going to do next.
Yeah,
keep
definitely.
all those options open.
Yeah, so one thing that can help is a bit of self-reflection, and also that will help you to make good choices too. So we're going to watch some videos on that now.
Whether you're entering the workforce for the first time or looking to change fields, deciding on a career can be tough. One way to narrow down your choices is to evaluate yourself and what's important to you. Let's take a look at some different needs and preferences you can assess. Your interests. Identify any hobbies or activities you enjoy, or anything that fulfills you. You may be able to find a career related to these. Being invested in and excited about the work you're doing is important. Your personality. Personal characteristics and qualities are good things to consider. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? Do you like to work alone or in a group? Are you more creative or analytical? Your values. How important is it for a company's values to align with your own? You'll probably have a more positive experience if you can find a workplace with an environment and culture that suits you. Your skills. Identify skills that you're good at. These can be concrete, like knowledge of certain computer programs, or they can be abstract, like problem solving or creativity. After evaluating these different qualities, you'll probably have a better grasp of which careers might interest you. Good luck!
Goodwill Community Foundation, creating opportunities for a better life.
Making decisions about post-16 choices. It's hard figuring out what to do after your GCSEs. The decisions you make can impact the qualifications you study, even the jobs you can do. Think about the decisions you're making, and to help you out, here are our top tips. Do research into how people get jobs or careers you're interested in. Find out if there's something you need to do to get where you want to go in the future. Don't worry if you don't know what you want to do. Ask yourself what subjects you enjoy and what you're good at. Ask a teacher what the next step in your favourite subject is. What could you do with this in the future? Think about how you like to be taught and assessed. There's different qualification types for different ways of learning. Think about where you want to study. Does your school have a sixth form? Does a college offer courses you want to study? Visit, see what they're like and if you'd enjoy studying there. And remember to check if they have entry requirements. Speak to people. Ask the right people for their advice and talk your options through with them. But remember, make the best choice for you.
So there were some really great ideas there about what you can do to reflect on who you are and what things might suit you, and also, help understand better about the things that might be right for you in your future. And you can also, on our website Get Career Confident, we have a video called How to Choose a Career Path, which I would really recommend watching as well to help in that process.
Yeah. So next we're going to hear from some young people around Sussex about their experiences making choices. And if you're watching and you've got special educational needs, we've got a short clip from our careers advisor, Kate, who's going to give her expert opinion on what you need to be considering.
I'm Emily. I work at Jackson Civil Engineering as an apprentice engineer. I'm doing my degree at Brighton University.
Hello, I'm Henry Clayson. I'm a former apprentice and now I'm working as a project assistant with the County Council.
I am Emily Clark. I am currently taking A-levels at East Sussex College, Eastbourne campus.
My name is Ewan. I am currently working at the University of Sussex as a graduate intern or graduate associate, which is basically a job that some graduates will get after they finish their degree, and it's in the widening participation sector, which is basically increase access to university to underrepresented groups.
So I never really wanted to go to uni. I was never really fussed about doing a degree full time. I basically pretty much just wanted to start earning as soon as I could. So I had a job from 15, but I wanted to get into an actual industry basically from as soon as I could, so 18 years old. I heard a lot about apprenticeships.
So originally I was looking to find a way into the administration sector, and it was my parents who recommended I look for an apprenticeship and recommended I look within public services because I have a passion for working within that area. Eventually I found this apprenticeship with the Careers Hub team within the East Sussex County Council, and from there I took an apprenticeship which has then led on to my full-time career as a project assistant with the team.
I chose criminology, sociology, psychology, all the ologies, mainly because I really like criminal, documentaries, all that stuff, and I've got an uncle that works in police and an auntie that works as a lawyer, and I thought one of those career paths would be absolutely amazing.
So I'm still kind of in discovery about what I like, what I'm interested in. So I'm looking at potentially going into this same widening participation path, but I've also kind of got some psychology in there as well that I'm interested in. I did a placement year at university, which basically means I spent a year with a researcher and we looked at anxiety, which was really interesting. And I kind of got to see the pros and cons of that kind of job, and it's still something that I'm kind of thinking about as well.
Be able to wake up and not feel like, oh my God, I've got to go to work, or oh my God, I've got this today, I've got that today. My main goal is to be able to just wake up and no matter what I'm doing, just to be like, brilliant, okay, we got this today?
No, to be honest, and not in a bad way. I think when you're first starting in any career sector, you don't know what the full role entails until you start it. Originally, I thought administration just meant typing documents, sending emails, things like that, which the role does involve. There's more to it than that.
To be honest, when it's actually quite a lot different to what I was expecting. Obviously, with the whole thing about A-levels is that it's really, really difficult and it's really, really tiring. And everybody says, well, if you're going to go into A-levels, well, then that's brave. But if you know what you want to do A-level wise, if you enjoy it, it takes out all the stress of it. I actually found that when I started getting into my A-levels, I went from being really, really anxious about having everything ready to be like, oh, well, I've already got this ready, because I just enjoy it so much.
How many jobs there are in construction, or just how many jobs there are in the world, basically. There's a lot more than you think.
Yeah, I mean, when I started my apprenticeship, I wish I'd had a better understanding of the actual assessment at the end for your qualification. I think a lot of people going into apprenticeship, they know it's not just work, and there's an educational aspect to it, but it might not be clear to them where the divide is and how different it is to coming off from A-levels and stuff.
I know a lot of teachers say it, but you don't have to know what you want to be at that young. Like I said, I didn't even know what it was until 2 years ago. So you don't stress about what you want to do or how you think you're going to get there, because GCSEs and A-levels are just stepping stones.
If I really wish I knew what college was like and how different it would have been beforehand, because I really would have just gone straight for it with such a different attitude.
I didn't love secondary school. It wasn't for me. I didn't like the kind of way it was set up. I'd experienced bullying and things. So personally, college was a nice kind of step away from school. It was people were a lot more mature. It's kind of a completely different space.
If you have a set career path and you think, I've got to do this at this college to get to this university and do this, do not limit yourself to just that, because you change as a person as you grow up. Life changes, the world changes, and if you limit yourself to just that one path, it's going to be stressful if anything does change. So just give yourself as many options and as many possibilities as you can, and don't limit yourself for you, because you're not really doing yourself a favour.
Hello, my name is Kate and I'm a careers advisor. I'm discussing future options and support. When looking at your future options, it can be helpful to think about the things that you're interested in and that you enjoy, and how these can link into your future career ideas and aspirations. If you're not going to be taking level 2 qualifications or GCSEs, then you might want to look at foundation learning or inclusion pathways. You could also look at work skills or employability courses. These can help to build up your skills and qualifications, and then you could move on to options such as further education courses, supported internships, pre-apprenticeship programs and traineeships, voluntary work and supported employment, as well as looking at options through the local offer. If you're going to be taking level 2 or GCSE qualifications, then you could look at different pathways, including academic, work-based or vocational options, which are offered at different levels. These could then lead on to further college courses, higher education and university, apprenticeships, employment and self-employment as well. There are a wide range of post-16 providers across the local area, both big and small, who are well equipped to provide support to young people with special educational needs and disabilities. They are also able to continue to provide the support that you've had at school. To find out more about the different options and providers, please have a look at the Send section on the What's Next Sussex directory on Get Career Confident. Each college or post-16 provider will have a person or team of people responsible for making sure that you get the support that you need at college. It's important to let them know as early as possible about the support that you do need so that they can make sure that it's in place when you start your course. Remember to check about the financial support that might be available to you. There's a 16 to 19 bursary fund that's also available to young people who are 19 or over within EHCP. This can be for help with things such as books, equipment and also travel. So check with your post-16 provider about how to apply and what you might be eligible for. If you're looking at going on to higher education or university, there's Disabled Students Allowance, DSA. This can help you with paying for support that you might need on your course, and unlike a student loan, you don't have to pay this money back. This can be used for things such as specialist equipment, communication support, sign language interpreters, mentoring and personal tutoring. Remember that it's your future and there's lots of different options that could be available to you. So it's important to have a look at the different choices and choose the pathway that best suits you. Thank you.
Really great, I think, hearing from young people, especially young people in Sussex who are just at the beginning of their careers. And I think one of the main things I got from that is it's okay to change your mind. And the really important thing is that there's lots of different pathways. And even if things don't go right the first time, there's always a second time. So never feel like, giving up, because there's always a different path that you can take.
Yeah, I think the key thing is when you're making decisions, it's understanding yourself first of all, and then knowing what your options are, and then that will hopefully help you to make good decisions moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. So next, we're actually going to look at the different pathways available to you. So there's lots of different things that you can do after your GCSEs, and let's make sure you're aware of all of them.
It can be daunting thinking about your next steps after Year 11, so we thought that we would draw on the expertise of the Inspira team to outline some of the routes that are available to you. Sixth forms offer a wide range of Level 3 qualifications, which usually include A-levels and BTEC courses. Grades permitting, you have the choice of remaining at your current school or perhaps moving to a different school for sixth form. Sixth forms only offer academic qualifications, however many now offer a range of both academic and vocational courses. You can also progress to university or even higher degree-level apprenticeships after sixth form.
FE colleges offer a range of courses starting at entry level and in many cases up to degree level. Further education colleges traditionally offer vocational courses, but many now include A-level courses as well as the new T-levels. You can apply to the college of your choice. Some specialise in specific vocations and can vary between colleges. You won't have a daily timetable. There may be days you aren't required to be in college or may be out on placement. However, you are expected to take responsibility for your learning and complete any work set.
Apprenticeships are ideal if you would like a more hands-on approach to your career. You will gain a qualification in a job area that you would like to pursue a career in, whilst earning a wage and getting practical on-the-job experience. You can also improve your maths and English if you need to. They are offered at different levels according to your grades or academic ability, starting at level 2 and are offered in a broad range of vocations. You will need to apply for a vacancy through an employer. The application process means you will need a CV. If you are successful at this stage, you will be called for an interview.
A-levels are level 3 qualifications you can take after your GCSEs. Students usually take 3 or 4 subjects at A-level, although more recently some students are doing a blended approach. They tend to be more academic subjects. Your choice of subject can be purely career-based. A-levels are assessed through final exams and progression routes, including university, higher degree apprenticeships or employment.
These work-related qualifications are in a wide range of subjects and are in career-related areas. Unlike A-levels, you can't do a vocational qualification in academic subjects like chemistry or biology. Vocational qualifications are designed to allow students to gain knowledge and skills that meet recognised standards necessary to work within a certain career field. They are generally assessed through assignments, coursework and portfolios, and especially in the case of apprenticeships, through practical work experience. Progression will depend on the level you have studied, but after successful completion of a level 3 qualification, you can progress to university, an advanced, higher or degree level apprenticeship, or employment.
T-levels are a relatively new qualification and not all further education colleges are currently offering them, but they will be soon. They are equivalent to 3 A-levels and run for 2 years. T-levels have been developed in collaboration with employers and businesses, so the content meets the needs of the industry and prepares students for work, further training or study. Check out our blog on options after year 11 for more info. You can also look on college, sixth form and apprenticeship provider websites. Get in touch with an Inspire Careers advisor today for free one-to-one advice on your next steps.
Who are you going to be? It's a huge question, and you probably don't have a clue, and that's okay. So how are you supposed to choose A-level subjects? What are you good at? A-levels can be a lot tougher than GCSEs, and teachers will expect a high level of independent work. Think about the subjects you're studying now. Which ones are you predicted to get the best grades in? Which are you best at? Picking your subjects strategically means you stand the greatest chance of getting the results you need to make it onto your next step, whatever this might be. Choose facilitating subjects. Facilitating subjects are a handful of A-level subjects you'll often see in university entry requirements. These are subjects like biology, English, geography, history, maths, or modern languages. Think of them as the core subjects you're used to studying now. Choosing some of these subjects means that, even if right now you have no idea what to study at university, you're keeping your options open. What do you enjoy? Whichever subjects you choose, you'll be immersed in them for the next 2 years, and it's difficult to do well in a subject that you're not interested in. Do some research before you choose to make sure you find the modules interesting, and that you enjoy using the skills you'll need to succeed. Are you planning to do a degree? Certain university courses need specific A-levels. If you already know what you'd like to study at university, or you have a rough idea, look up which subjects it needs and make these a priority. Do you have a career in mind? If you already know what you want to be, you're a step further ahead than most people. If you already know what you want to do after school or college, look for subjects that will help you get there. And that's it. Whatever subjects you choose, and whatever you do after school or college, there is an adventure waiting for you, and it's never too late to start planning for it.
The UK's growing and rapidly changing economy needs a workforce highly skilled in many technical roles. T-levels are new, 2-year technical study programmes designed with employers to give young people the skills businesses and industry need. Alongside apprenticeships and A-levels, T-levels will be a new, exciting option for students to study after GCSEs. Completion of a T-level programme will be equivalent to 3 A-levels and will open up opportunities for young people to progress into skilled employment, higher level apprenticeships or higher education. Combining classroom-based study with an industry placement, they'll provide a mixture of technical, digital, maths and English, knowledge and skills alongside substantial experience of working with employers. These new T-levels courses will provide the skills and knowledge for a wide range of careers across 11 different sectors, including digital, engineering, construction, science and healthcare, through to legal and accountancy. As well as technical qualification, T-levels will provide substantial industry placements with relevant employers running for a minimum of 45 days throughout the 2-year programme. These placements will give students a great experience in putting into practice what they have learned from their classroom-based knowledge work. T-levels will be available from 2020, starting with digital, construction and education. They will initially be offered in 50 colleges and schools throughout England. This number will expand from 2021, as will the variety of T-levels, increasing the choices available to students and providing the skills needed by employers.
Apprentices are all around us, working in our towns and cities, supporting businesses, organisations and communities, all whilst gaining invaluable experience and qualifications. Apprentices are amazing.
We work on the latest automotive technology.
We work towards the conservation of endangered animals.
We care for our local communities.
We build the places you care about.
We cut and style your hair.
We fight fires, we respond to emergencies, and we save lives.
We produce your TV shows.
We support scientists doing groundbreaking research.
We install electrical infrastructure.
We promote and market your businesses.
We manufacture your favourite products.
And make sure they are the best they can be.
We even work in Parliament.
Discover the world of apprenticeships. Visit amazingapprenticeships.com.
Life's changed quite a bit lately. It seems that student loan spending on sharp-fitting suits may have paid off. I guess learning something really did pay off. More than one person must have been as pleased with my responses as I was. Learning something just earned me better earnings. I got the job. And I'm the first family member to go to university, so now our family albums are building again with smartphone stills of proud family outings. Me and the uni lot all out in the forecourt after the official service, dressed to the nines in our smartest clothing. We just graduated, me with a 2-1 in engineering. It's something me and my family never anticipated. I thought people like me could never make it. See, at school, I always shied away from anything academically related. Essays were always handed in late and short by at least a page. To be fair though, Mum always said she'd support me whatever I ended up doing, albeit after half an hour of going mad about another after-school detention, missed deadline, or report saying that I just lacked attention. See, my attention was engine biased, cultivated through hours of tinkering in the garage with Grandad, who said he'd dreamed of being a pilot, but he'd been too short-sighted. I owe a lot to the time I told that to Miss Whitehead. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have ended up doing all those all-nighters, the mix of caffeinated nerves and adrenaline-fueled excitement, the will I or won't I, the fear of an uncompleted assignment, and then the moment the results get put online. I remember the first day after the first freshers' night out, the chats in the kitchen where friendships were carved out. I remember dreading my first lecture, 2 weeks later, and I was amazed by the facts that the lecturer kept presenting. I remember being down at Riley's with the lads. I showed them all my university acceptance letter. Kimbo was telling us he'd finally registered for an apprenticeship as a lecky, while Thompson was stressing about being picked on as that new kid in the garage. See, Miss Whitehead had asked what I was into. I said Need for Speed and Midnight Club 3. In reply, she handed me a university open day leaflet. It wasn't until about 3 weeks later in the park, a plane flew over and something in my brain sparked. I searched around my bag and found the crumpled leaflet, opened it and began to read it. It was then that I decided to start dreaming, decided to make my future brighter. It was then that I really decided to aim higher.
We've heard about A-levels, B-Techs, T-levels, NVQs and apprenticeships, and these are all possible after your GCSEs. So depending on what you enjoy, what your aspirations are, how you like to learn, there is going to be a possible best route for you. Just to mention as well that if you're thinking that you might not get all of your GCSEs or you might not pass maths and English, there is still going to be an option for you.
Absolutely. So if you pass most subjects and maybe fail either just maths or English, you may well still be able to go straight onto a level 3 course such as A-levels. But if you don't manage to achieve any of your GCSEs, then you might want to do another year of level 2 qualifications, maybe at college, for example, or you could look at doing a traineeship before doing an apprenticeship. So there's still options. Don't worry at all if that ends up being you. The most important thing is to check with the college that you're intending to go to see what they can offer you when you get your results after you've done your GCSEs.
Yeah, and remember a few years ago, the government introduced a law which meant that you have to stay in some form of education or employment or training up until the age of 18. So I know that might sound a bit frustrating for some people, but it is really important that you stay learning, because then that will just give you more options and more choices moving forward.
Exactly, and that's what you always want. You want to have as many options as possible open to your future. We also heard about university as an option, which is obviously something you can do after you're 18, not 16. But we wanted to tell you about it because it is something that you need to be thinking about now if it is possibly going to be an option for you. For lots of degrees, whatever A-levels or B-Techs or T-levels you do, it doesn't matter, but there are some degrees which will require specific subjects, so you need to be careful about that. And you can check at ucas.com what qualifications, what A-levels, for example, might be needed for different degrees. And it's also worth mentioning there are other options for higher education, including degree apprenticeships, and also there's the new higher technical qualification.
Yeah, and don't forget that you can visit Get Career Confident to search for courses and apprenticeships throughout Sussex. So do visit us there.
Yeah, so that's on our directory on the website, so it's worth having a look at that. So we've talked to you about we've talked about the different pathways and options, and now we're going to explore the world of work and look at how you might fit in it, starting with the future of work.
It's easy to imagine a future filled with flying cars, holograms, and never-ending viral videos. But as the future of work becomes more and more digital, it becomes harder to grasp what that will actually look like and how we will fit into it.
We have the opportunity to say, what is it that really takes the most advantage of people's ingenuity and creativity?
There's always these moments where technology has forced us into a different direction. And in most cases, it's been positive.
You can think of robots and AI as helping you to remove the most redundant parts of your day in your life so you can focus on the higher level thinking. I'm excited about that future.
For the vast majority of us, the workplace is rapidly changing, and it can feel like we're speeding towards the unknown. By 2025, 85 million jobs may be displaced by technological advancements, which is a scary number. But at the same time, 97 million new roles may emerge that will be adapted to a new division of labor between humans, machines, and algorithms. There are a whole host of emerging industries that will create a range of new jobs, just one of which is drone piloting. Andy and Athambi from Wingcopter are using drones to help improve people's lives.
We are currently optimizing supply chains in Malawi, specifically delivering medicine.
Transit is not possible through roads, so drones come in and help poorer and less advantaged people have access to medicine.
And what's really interesting right now with the drone industry is we're seeing drone academies in Benin and Sierra Leone that are essentially addressing the skill gap in Africa when it comes to this high-tech technology.
So I see drone technology being such an emerging market that allows for opportunities, not just in piloting, but in maintenance, in auxiliary staff, and in other sectors.
For many people, automation is a scary word, because they think of machines that are essentially taking away their job. What we all have to realize is that through technology, we are actually going to have better standards, better skilled jobs, more opportunity, and traditional jobs will transition into new and more exciting jobs for the future.
Andy and Nathambi's work is representative of many of these new roles, taking machines and making them work for us. In the same way that workers had to learn how to use the machines and tools in the first industrial revolution, it's going to be up to us to learn how to use the tools of the future in this fourth industrial revolution. That means more people learning how things like software and robots function. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, it just isn't going to fly anymore. People working today will see the share of their core skills change by up to 40% in the next 5 years. Reskilling will become key to this transition. The good news is that it's never been easier to learn new skills. Many companies are prioritizing training to build a secure future for themselves and their employees, with 2 out of 3 expected to see a return on investment in reskilling their workforce. What's more, the internet has made self-education both accessible and affordable. Christo set up creative education company The Future to help people make a living doing what they love.
Everything that you want to learn is available on the internet, and we can explore in ways that are very low risk to us. Because imagine the old approach, which is I have to submit an application to university or college. And so that means there's a whole bunch of prep work I have to do. And even for some people, the admission fees and essays, the barrier to entry is just too high. In this way, I think, especially with all the resources, workshops, courses, ebooks, training, one-on-one mentorship, peer groups, all that kind of stuff, that's available at very low cost. So you can dip your toes into something, find out if this is a good fit for you, and then decide this is where I want to do a deep dive. And you can learn at your own pace, which I love.
Doesn't seem quite as scary now, does it? Still, you'd be forgiven for thinking that the future is going to be all ones and zeros. Although digital literacy is going to be incredibly important, it is in fact the soft skills that are going to be at the core of the average future worker. In a world where hybrid remote working will be more common, self-awareness and self-management will be king. Roles centered around employee well-being and community will become more important, and emotional intelligence will be necessary for managers to provide proper support and foster happier, more fulfilled teams. We may even start to see official certification of these softer skills, allowing for greater freedom to transfer between industries. One of these growing industries will be the care economy. With our ever-growing and aging population, care for the elderly, the vulnerable, and children will become a high priority. In a society that's increasingly putting well-being above other concerns, this sort of job will become more common as investment moves to social infrastructure. Andrea is discovering how investing in robots is making hospital care more human-centered.
Even before the pandemic, we were already seeing the care sector being stretched and there being a renewed focus on how do we really kind of stem the burnout that people are feeling. If you talk to most nurses and clinicians, like the part of their job that they love the most is when they have that kind of deep connection with their patients. And so I think it's great if we can think of ways that automation, like Moxie, taking away some of the mundane delivery tasks, can kind of open up more time for the parts of a person's job that they really love. Yeah, there may end up being more and more interactions that patients have with automation and technology. But in the end, that caregiving experience that you have that's really person to person, I don't see how that's ever going to go away.
As you can see, far from the uncaring image of technology in science fiction, it can actually increase our capacity to take care of each other. It can also help us to care for our planet. In the coming years, climate action is going to need to kick into overdrive, and this means 2 things: innovation and new jobs. Just one example of these jobs is coral farming. With more coral reefs dying off each year, coral restoration is more important than ever. But the current process is labour-intensive and requires an advanced skill set. However, people like Stephen are using technology to open up these coral farming roles to a wider group.
Charm is a device that allows coral restoration practitioners the ability to grow thousands to hopefully millions of coral by the touch of a button. This robot will have on board the artificial intelligence and the ability to clean coral, feed coral when they're hungry, identify pests, and do the general maintenance tasks that a lot of people need to do but don't quite have the time or resources.
There is a growing need for people to be working in this space for green technology, for sustainable practices. What we actually need is a group of people to say, this is the kind of future that we want, where we integrate technology with the environment and we flourish. And we want to have a job in an industry that promotes thriving.
The future of work is coming. For some, it's already here. It can be a bright future, a future that can improve our well-being and the well-being of the planet. So while automation can sound scary, with careful regulation and policies that promote equal opportunities and inclusion, there are ways it can make our working lives happier, more effective, more human.
It's really interesting hearing about how work is changing, how it's innovating, and how the world's developing. And, you know, that's really exciting for you guys because you're just about to enter the world of work and all the things that might happen in your futures we don't even know yet. And I mean, when I was your age choosing my GCSEs, we only just had the internet. And now you can upskill yourself in anything you choose from the comfort of your own home, which is just amazing.
It is, yeah. So the next videos we're going to look at focuses on the very much growing area of green and sustainable careers. And we do have a range of videos about green careers on Get Career Confidence, so you can explore green careers and also qualifications related to green careers on that. So remember to check that out too.
I'm really excited that green careers are becoming so popular and such a big thing, and it's definitely an area worth looking into. After that video, we will hear from employers across Sussex who are representing some of the key sectors in our area, and hopefully this is going to inspire you to consider some new possible career areas. And if any of them really interest you, you can watch the full interviews on Get Career Confident on our website.
In recent years, with the extreme temperatures, flash floods, forest fires, droughts, wars, and of course the COVID-19 pandemic, the world looks and feels like a very different place. More recently, we have been experiencing an energy crisis, which has resulted in the cost of paying for gas and electricity for most people in the UK to at least double. This means millions of people will be paying far more for their energy use than ever before, and will likely push many families into poverty. So what has caused this, and what or who is to blame? The energy regulator Ofgem stated that the increase in heating costs is due to a record rise in global gas prices, and this is because of a perfect storm of market causes. These include China's increased demand for gas, which has meant less has been available for Europe. Russia, while at war with Ukraine, has refused to make up the shortfall. The UK experiencing issues with power generation and storage, and many smaller UK energy companies going bankrupt as they haven't been able to withstand the rising energy costs. The end result is far more costly energy and less options for the consumer to choose who their supplier is. Currently, 87% of UK households rely on gas, and gas is used heavily in many parts of industry, including food production, steel manufacturing, and chemical factories. This reliance on fossil fuels is not sustainable. So what can we do? Part of the government's 10-point plan for a green industrial revolution, with a target of achieving net zero carbon emissions by 2050, is to reduce our reliance on fossil fuels imported from other countries and instead move to renewable energy sources like wind and solar power. Additionally, by retrofitting our homes and buildings, we can improve insulation and make our energy usage more efficient and cost-effective. What can you do? The 3 pillars of sustainability are often informally referred to as people, planet, and profit. We are in this position due to years of reliance on energy systems that are finite, and people have put profit before the planet. But it also means that people can turn this around. As Greta Thunberg says,
"But the climate crisis has already been solved. We already have all the facts and solutions. All we have to do is to wake up and change."
Hi, I'm Neil Simpson. I'm currently the Operations Manager for Metal Tech Precision Engineering.
I'm Natasha Ahmed. I'm the Customer Account Manager for Gatwick and Stansted Airport Consolidation and Recycling.
I'm Simon Pringle. I'm the CEO of Red River, which is a software company based in Horsham, West Sussex.
Hi, I'm Sarah Venn. I'm a circuit judge and I work in Kent, Surrey and Sussex in the county courts.
Hi, I'm Georgia Mallinson and I'm Head of Wine Tourism here at Rathfinny Wine Estate.
My name is Antonio Souza and I work for East Sussex County Council as a social worker for the Adult Social Care, Mental Health and Substance Misuse team.
I am one of the directors. Hawes Construction Group is a contractor, building contractor, and we carry out building works in residential and commercial properties.
So software engineering, so at its most fundamental level, it's writing computer codes to, say, create an app, create a website, a web platform.
The courts are where people come to when they have an argument and they can't agree what should happen. And basically the judge is the decider. And they have to decide who is right and who is wrong and what the law says.
So essentially we are a wine producer. We are a large vineyard, but alongside that we have a hospitality industry which provides a restaurant, accommodation, tours and tastings and a shop.
We manage the logistics of deliveries going into the airport for all of the stores.
We are a subcontract manufacturing company. We make components that we don't own, so people come to us and we make their vision.
In our team, we support adults who have issues with mental health.
My main responsibility is to make sure that my customers, which is Gatwick Airport and Stansted Airport, are happy, with our service and making sure that deliveries are going smoothly into the stores.
So I meet new clients and try and get us work, but I also get involved in the general administration of the company as well.
So as CEO, I run the company. I also get involved in sales, product design, and general running of the business. Everything else, I make tea, I change the bins, do absolutely everything in the company.
My role here at Rathfinny Wine Estate is to develop what we call our wine tourism, which is attracting people to come and visit us at the estate to hear about what we do and maybe experience our restaurants, our accommodation or our tours and tastings.
So the best thing about my job is how interesting it is. I meet different people every day. We really try to encourage people to settle their disagreements at an early stage. And sometimes we manage to do that, and it's a great feeling to see people be able to put their differences aside.
I really like working with people. I really enjoy working with a team that's committed to helping people change their lives through their support and compassion.
I think the best thing of working at Hawes is the variety of work we do, the ethos of the company. We are very transparent. We like to build relationships with our clients, our suppliers and our subcontractors.
Different types of roles though within the business. We have an office staff, so from the accounts team, HR, payroll, scheduling, planning, development, R&D sort of side of it. And then on the shop floor, we have an inspection team. We have milling, turning and the manual machines as well, and grinding.
Within social care, there's a number of jobs that can be had. There's occupational therapists and assistants, reablement support workers, apprentice administrators and finance officers. Our department is split into lots of different teams, working adults with learning disabilities, older people, adults with physical disabilities, acquired brain injuries, neurodiverse adults, and people experience all sorts of mental health issues.
So in my area, it's mainly hospitality. So we have chefs, we have kitchen porters, we have front of house staff. Within the accommodation, we have housekeeping or operations, so making sure everything's working and everything's going well. We have maintenance teams that help us maintain all of our equipment and the grounds and our lovely herbs and flowers in the gardens. Alongside my area, there are other areas on the estate, for instance, in the vineyard. which is much more of an outdoor sort of role and looking after the vines.
It's actually one of the main things that we do here at Gatwick. So we also have the recycling centre contract. So we collect so general waste, cardboard, glass, etc. And then we make sure that it's disposed of through the right channels.
We work alongside a couple of companies so that if we have surplus materials, timber for example, we will donate them to, there's a charity in Eastbourne called The Shed, and there's also the Woodwork Recycling Centre in Brighton. So we will give them any surplus materials.
Basically, we've gone for a more hybrid or remote way of working, so people are on the road less, which is good. We were flying quite a lot to our customers in Europe. We've basically not done that since in the last 3 years.
So we have the apprentice route, which we take on every June, July time, and then that's a 3 to 4 year apprenticeship and become a machinist, CNC machinist. We also have what we class as an off the street program, where they come in at the junior level as a trainee. This is any age. It's not age restricted or age guidance. And then we put them in for our internal training program, where they start from hand tools all the way up to become a CNC operator in time.
We have lots of young people who come in when they finish their studies, and they normally start by either being IT support, because we find they're brilliant at it, or they start off with clerking the judge in court. So that involves setting the courtroom up, recording the hearing. The judge might need photocopying doing, or they might need some assistance as a case carries on.
We're very open to apprenticeships in many areas, so it's not just in my area. So yes, we'd always be open to apprenticeships.
We do take on some people at the very beginnings of their careers. We're massively into mentoring and developing people. Some of the people that we call senior are still very young in our organisation, because we spent a lot of time looking after them, helping them grow, finding out what they want.
The good thing about construction is the skills are transferable. So even if you join as a trade, you can then go across and you could then become an estimator or a surveyor or a site manager. Because historically, most of the site managers I worked with were trade backgrounds. And I think that's the beauty of construction, is it is still a job for life.
So yeah, I think I wish I had more confidence in myself then.
I suppose that the main thing I wish I'd known is that actually I would love being a judge, because I'd never even thought about being a judge. And it was only somebody who's persuaded me to do it that I did it. And I wish I'd known more about it, because I might have tried to do it a bit younger had I known, because I love it. It's a brilliant job.
Is just try lots of different things. And actually I did have that sort of approach. So you don't necessarily need to know what you want to do at 16, because what you start off doing might not be what you end up doing.
So now we know a bit more about what's going on in the world of work, both globally and also locally. And things can seem a bit daunting when we're thinking about the future, but it is exciting as well. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, but what you do today and the decisions that you make can have a really massive impact on what happens in the future.
Both for you and for the world, you know.
Yeah,
you could
definitely.
be the person that invents something or makes a difference to thousands of people's lives. You never know. So that's amazing, isn't it? That's really exciting.
One of the key questions that I often ask young people is, what impact do you want to make? What difference do you want to make in the world? What do you care about enough to want to make a difference in? So I think these are key questions to ask yourself when you're thinking about what to do in the future. But I think the other important thing is to make sure that you're adaptable, because the world is changing so much. So we do need to be adaptable and flexible when we're thinking about our future.
Yeah, definitely. So the next and final section of films are all about your next steps and what you can actually do to make things happen, because without action, you stay exactly where you are.
Welcome to the World Skills UK Goal Setting Workshop. My name is Peter Bakari. I am a performance and wellbeing coach for World Skills UK and also Olympic athlete from the 2012 Games. And today I want to talk to you about goal setting. Now, it's something that we all go through and experience. It doesn't matter if the goal comes to us or it's something that we want to try and attain ourselves. Goals are always there. I mean, I want to talk to you a little bit about my Olympic background and the kind of experiences I went to try and get there. Whenever we want to try and achieve a goal, we have to come out of our comfort zone. That's the only way that the magic happens outside of this. But usually when we're asked to come out of our comfort zone, what do we say? No, it's natural. I mean, that's not where my comfort lies. But why do we say no? I started volleyball when I was 18 years old. Now I played basketball all the way up to that. Volleyball was completely new to me. It all started when I was at college and my basketball coach was also a volleyball coach. And he said to me one day, "Peter?" I said, "Yes, coach." He said, "I want you to try out volleyball." I said, "Volleyball?" He said, "Volleyball." Now the way I learned how volleyball is, as soon as the ball hits the ground on your side, it's a point to the other team. So when I first started, I tried digging it. The ball would hit me, hit the ground, point to the other team. I try again. I tried digging it, hit me, hit the ground, point to the other team. I was getting frustrated, so I tried one more time. I tried digging it, hit me, hit the ground, point to the other team. So I said to my coach, nope, 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 nope. I don't want to play anymore. And he said, why? I said, 1, people keep on laughing at me every time I make a mistake. 2, I don't think I'm going to get any better. 3, I can't. He said to me, "Peter, whenever you ever hear yourself saying I can't, you add one more word." I said, "What's that?" He said, "Yet." I can't yet. Just think about it. Whenever you try something new, of course you can't do it. That's why it's called something new. So yet means time, yet means practice, yet means belief. And with that, you know what? I thought, okay then. I took my first step and I started playing volleyball. And now I had this dream of trying to make the Olympic Games. Now this was a goal that was all the way up there. You know, I've just started off and the games were in 4.5 years. I thought to myself, how in the world am I gonna try and make it? So when you're starting with your goals, remember, it's a marathon. Break it down into small steps every single time and make sure that your goal is SMART. Something that is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and there's a time, there's a deadline to it. Anytime you ever hear yourself saying I can't, just add that one last word, yet. I hope you've enjoyed this goal setting workshop and I really hope that you achieve your goals. I'm Peter Bakari from World Skills UK and good luck, guys.
I'm going to talk to you today about work experience and why it's important. So basically, getting some work experience is probably one of the most, if not the most, important thing you can do to help to make good decisions about what you want to do with your future. And the reason is threefold. Firstly, it helps you reality check ideas that you might have had since you were a child, or maybe something that's just popped into your head in the last month or so. Because quite often people who have had thoughts about what they might want to do when they're older, when they actually go and try it out, it makes a really big difference to their opinion of whether or not it's something they want to do. So you might find that actually seeing what the world of work is like and what that particular job is really like makes you go, I don't want to do this. Or it might make you even more certain you want to do it. But it's really important to find that out. And in some career areas, not having work experience actually means that you will really struggle to get onto your next step. So for example, if you want to get into medicine, it's a requirement to apply to medicine at university that you've had quite a bit of work experience. So it's really crucial. So reality checking, first thing, building your skills. So that means those transferable skills we talk about sometimes, the general skills that you can apply to all sorts of different types of work. It's really crucial because you'll learn that in your work experience, but also it will give you some specific skills related to that type of work. So, you know, building your experience, building your knowledge about what that job is like is helpful for you going forward if you want to carry on in that career or in any other career. And the last thing is it helps you to create and make contacts and to hopefully keep those up. And what I mean by contacts are people that will help you with your future. So it might be that if your work experience goes well, they might give you a Saturday job or give you your first job in that industry. And, you know, I always say to people, keep in contact with anyone that you got on well with at your work experience, because you never know when they might be able to help you as you get older. So 3 really good reasons to do work experience.
Setting goals is really important. Otherwise, you lose focus and it's easy to just drift.
Yeah, and I really like the idea of adding the word yet to I can't, because, you know, to be honest, no one can do anything at first. It's all about trying again, and then eventually we'll be able to do it. So always keep that in mind. And the other thing to mention, work experience is super valuable, and for one of the reasons it's valuable is it really takes you outside of your comfort zone, because it gets you to meet new people, try new things, and it really can make a massive difference to your life decisions. The other important thing to mention is make sure that you attend taster days and open evenings, because it's really difficult to tell if somewhere is right for you if you've never actually visited it. So make sure you do that, and most of them will be happening throughout either the summer or the autumn term as we are in now.
Yes, and then once you've got an idea about what you want to do and where you want to study, the important thing is get your application form in. And even if you're not 100% sure about what you want to do, just send an application form in anyway, because then you'll get you're likely to get your place confirmed, and then you'll have an interview. And bear in mind that some colleges do have strict deadlines when it comes to applying. So if you miss those deadlines, you won't get a place. So that's really important as well.
Absolutely, yes. So for places like, for example, Basvic, they usually have a deadline at the beginning of December. And if you miss that, it's very unlikely that you're going to get a place there. So don't miss it. In Brighton and Hove and West Sussex, you apply directly to colleges. And it's worth mentioning you can't apply to Basvic and Barndine College for the same courses. You have to pick one or the other. And then if you don't get in, you can then go to the other one. In East Sussex, you apply through the East Sussex, Careers East Sussex website, and there's a video talking you through that process on What Next Sussex page, so do check that out.
Okay, so once you've made your application, then you can expect an interview at the college or sixth form in the new year. And we do have a video on what to expect in the What Next Sussex On Demand section and on Get Career Confident. So if you're interested also in apprenticeships, applications will generally start in the spring. So that's when you can start looking at the website and doing your applications. But it's important that you apply to college as well, so you've got a secure backup plan.
Absolutely. I'm going to reiterate that point. So don't just think you're going to get an apprenticeship for sure, because sometimes that might not end up happening. So make sure you have a backup as a college option. So the last thing we're going to look at is around the concept of hope and thinking positively about your future. And some of you out there might think that you have barriers or feel that you have barriers to your next steps. So we're going to think about how you can shift your mindset so you can get motivated and really achieve your best. And just to say, for those of you who are struggling, or maybe by the end of this academic year you still don't know what you want to do, please don't worry. There is provision across the whole of Sussex to support you. So make sure you ask at school who your careers advisor is or who might be able to help you. So there's help out there for everybody, including from Get Career Confident.
What if everything you believed was true? Not just the possibilities, but the limitations too. That the doubts you let linger, fester and grow, later become the barriers that stop all of your growth. Whilst the hopes that you nurture, develop even further, become a part of you like you've given an oath, a declaration, a promise to yourself, that you will make that dream a reality regardless of anybody else. To believe. To think that something is true, correct, or real. Meaning that what you believe will control how you feel. And then that feeling controls everything you do. The tiny decisions that you make and the bigger ones too. So in essence, your beliefs determine your reality. So surely it would be the definition of insanity to not take time to choose what you believe. I mean literally choose. If we're saying our beliefs control our mind and what our mind believes is true, and you could believe in anything, why not choose to believe in you? The ability to believe, a gift and a curse. An internal race to see which side will get to you first. The gift of belief that allows you to try, take challenges step by step until you learn how to fly, versus the curse of belief, or belief of a curse. A belief that it won't go well, so you expect the worst. What if everything we believed was true? And belief wasn't about actual proof, but more about you. A tiny seed actually has the audacity to believe it will one day become a mighty tree. Despite all evidence, past experiences, and what some would argue is common sense. Imagine, for a second, that seed sat around with its friends, sharing its beliefs about the impending future, speaking of dreams and goals that they're not used to. What stories of failure would they share? What doubts would they voice? And would that seed listen and let them affect its choice? You see, belief isn't about logical thinking, realistic goals, or any other measurable approach. Belief is something way deeper. It's a fire within. So, what do you believe in? And if yourself wasn't the first answer, let's explore the reason. The garden of your mind has clearly let some weeds in. Little seeds of doubt that you've watered through the seasons, enticed you to feed them, feel like you need them, and ultimately decide that you are going to be them. With subtle little phrases like, well, that's just me. I'm not that good. I always mess it up. And if you're not careful, you'll believe them. So why don't you delete them? Remove these phrases and beliefs from your repertoire, promising never to repeat them. Dig up negative beliefs, take some time to sit and recede them. Because if we're saying our beliefs control our mind, and what our mind believes is true, and you could believe in anything, why not choose to believe in you?
I don't know about you, but I am feeling super motivated and inspired to go out there and make my future happen.
Good. Well, I think Mash is really inspired as well, aren't you, Mash? So basically, just to sum up, think carefully about what you want to do now, what you want to do in the future, and just keep your options open.
Yeah, I think it's really important to think beyond the careers that are familiar to you. And also don't forget to make your applications, because if you don't do that, then you're not going to be doing anything. And if you've got any questions, come and talk to us, come and chat with us. We have the chat option on our website.
So keep exploring the What Next Sussex content, the directory, and all the rest of the website, and our Insta page as well, especially for young people.
Yeah, we've got an Instagram page which is aimed directly at young people, so it's worth following us. Get career confident. Thank you so much for joining us. We've had a great time.
We have indeed.
Yeah.
Haven't we, Mash?
Yes, Mash has had the best time. And we really hope that every young person who has watched this is, going to go on and have a fulfilled and successful career in whatever they choose, and hopefully with something that they love. So make sure whatever you do next is right for you and have fun doing it.
Brilliant. Take care.
Bye.